Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. And today I'd like to talk about a guy I saw on the internet. And it's quite interesting. I was watching Jay Leno's videos, Leno's Garage, and this guy turned up there. He's a Porsche aficionado, Magnus Walker. And he's a really interesting fucker. I mean, when you first see him, you just want to fucking cut his fucking dreadlocks off. But he's a really interesting fucker. And he's super cool. And the thing about him is, he's got a video on YouTube, Urban Outlaw, which I'm going to put a link in to this video here in the description. Just have a look there. And Urban Outlaw, he's got a business where he rejuvenates Porsches, particularly air-cooled 911s. And my good friend Descartes, he's a huge Porsche fan, and Descartes has got one of the last air-cooled Porsches, and that's really, you know, with Porsches, when they became water-cooled, they lost the noise. And I mean, modern Porsche is magnificent, but this was sort of the sweet spot, these air-cooled Porsches. And anyhow, Magnus Walker, really interesting fucker. He just looks like a bum. He looks like a derelict, homeless, hippie bum. And he turned up in America. This was in the 80s. And he turns up, you know, he's from Sheffield. And he starts dealing in vintage clothing. Old Levi's, just cool sort of shit like that. He starts selling it at a market stall. And then that turns into his business, where he's a fashion designer, and it's very much, you know, an alternative look. It's that, you know, vintage, the age, the patina. And I gotta say, I really like what he's doing. And you know, he's kind of, you know, he works on these things. And one thing I love about Magnus Walker is he's not doing it solely for the money. I mean, money's important, but, you know, he does it for the love of it. You know, you know, it's just a very fascinating thing. And you know, he's got some signature things. He's got the he integrates the rear lights into the body. He's also on the at the back, the rear engine cover, he puts in louvers. And he also, big fuel tank at the front, and he also he's very famous for his drilled door handles. And, you know, I really do respect the man. He works on these things, and he's just a Porsche lover. And, you know, it's quite funny. You look at his life and you think, fuck, what would have happened to this hippie bum? He arrives in America, hasn't got two brass razzoos to rub together. He starts selling vintage clothing. He then founds his own design, vintage clothing sort of business. And he takes it out of the market level, and it goes, you know, goes quite well. He buys into a rundown part of LA, and it gets gentrified, and he probably made a fortune on the real estate. He starts buying Porsches 911s air-cooled when they're dirt cheap. And you know what I mean? He's very he's just got something to him. You know, he's got this ability, this sixth sense to know what is going to be successful. And I love him because he's not your typical Porsche owner. He's tattooed, he's got dreadlocks, he looks like a hippie. You know, he's very, you know, he's certainly, you know, I'm not like that, but what I like about him is his individualism. And, you know, no one could say he's copied anyone else. He's an individual fucker with a love for air-cooled 911 Porsches. And, you know, it's quite interesting. He's leaving a body of work behind. He's got his cars. He's got his clothing line. You know, it's quite fascinating to see this guy at work there. And, I think you got to have a lot of respect for somebody who does what they love and is successful at it. I mean, fuck. You know, so many of us are on the corporate fucking... I mean, and the reason we're on the corporate fucking treadmill is that, you know, we've got to raise children, we've got to pay fucking mortgages, we've got to fucking pay ex-wives, alimony, child support. It's fucking tough. But with Magnus Walker, you know, he's following his dream. And, you know, I get the feeling it was never about the money. He's not the sort of guy who would, you know, who you'd think of. But he seems to be very successful. And he's having fun with Porsches. I mean, fuck, air-cooled Porsches. How cool is that? And he puts a lot of effort in. I mean, I saw in his documentary, Urban Outlaw, he's making a pull for the door. So this is the, instead of having a handle, the old light Porsches used to have a pull, and he's making it out of leather, and he's aging the leather. He wants the patina. He wants it to feel just right. And you got to have a lot of respect for a man who so loves the craft. And Magnus Walker, tell me what you fuckers think of him. What a cool guy. I'm Archie Luxury. See you later, fuckers.
'64 was the first year of the 9/11. We could say it was the birth of the 9/11. The 911 is just such an iconic shape, you know. It's the classic Porsche. When people think of Porsche, they think of 911. You know, and that shape has endured for almost 50 years, you know, and you can still look at the new Porsche today and you know it's a 911. They may call it a 997, but to everyone out there, there's a Porsche 911. My goal a few years back was to have one of every year from 64 through 73. Ironically, I got all the way to 72. I've yet to get the 73, but I did get the most difficult one, the 64. In the 20 years of owning, racing, collecting, I've owned over 40 911s. As a 10-year-old, my father took me to the London Earls Court Motor Show in '77, and there was a white Martini Turbo with a red and blue stripe. That was my dream car. I even wrote a letter to the Porsche factory at the age of 10. I think I said I wanted to design for Porsche. And the kicker is they even wrote me back and basically said words to the effect of, well, when you're older, give us a call. Porsche is a brand that's built on loyalty. And I would hope, you know, 35 years later, if I showed up with that letter, I would hope they'd be smiling. It's the smell, it's the sound. You hear your heart pumping, you feel the blood pulsing through your veins, you sense the sweat dripping down. And by the time you're done, you're probably exhausted.